Hey guys, we're back for this week's show. I just wanted to let you know we're going to just jump into this. We're not doing any kind of intro. We're going to be talking about the good and bad of living in a gated community in Florida. And I know that when you're first moving, one of the things that you are first considering is what area do I want to live in and why do I want to do that. So Cape Coral, it would be for the waterfront or for the residential living. Fort Myers, it would be for the convenience to the airport, to the beach, just to be close to shops, restaurants, and things of that sort. And many of the areas north and south of us, there's specific reasons. Punta Gorda is north of us. It's a smaller town. South of us, you're going to get into Bonita Springs and Naples, obviously very affluent in Naples. So everybody has a different reason for these things, but the one thing that they're going to answer next is gates or no gates, HOA or no HOA. Now, if you can get the gates with no HOA, would you do it? Probably, right? The biggest reason why people tell me they don't want to be in a gated community is HOAs. Whether it's the fees, whether it's the rules, some people just aren't rule followers.
Rule number one, follow the rules.
I don't like rules, but you know, you have to follow them just as a human being in society, right? But that part of it, the rules and regulations, turns a lot of people off. They don't want to be told how to do things. In this particular community, I used to live in here. My son still lives in here. And I will tell you, there's a woman that drives around in her golf cart writing up violations. And a violation could be something like, I have a dead bush in my front yard and I have to replace it. Or, the mulch I laid down is red and it has to be brown. Or, I might have planted a fruit tree. Oh no, you can't do that. There's an architectural review committee that has to approve every single thing that you do to your home. Paint color, don't think you're painting any color you want. Not happening. The roof styles used to all be a flat concrete tile. They've now allowed them to change to metal roof. And there's one other kind of a pseudo tile roof that I don't know what the material is, but it's kind of a half barrel style. But those things are all dictated by that architectural review committee. You have to submit changes to them if you even hope to have something done. If you want a fence in, architectural review committee. You want to put some new shrubs in, same thing. So keep that in mind. The rules at times can seem difficult and overbearing, but they're there for a reason. We're going to talk about that reason in just a minute because it does have an important impact. Fees can range wildly. Fees can be as low as this place, as $600 per quarter, or they can be as much as $1,200 per month. Just depends on what you're getting. The ones that are $1,200 a month, they usually have a clubhouse with the golf course, a marina, and many other little amenities that are inside that. Now, this place has an activities director, but that's about as posh as this place gets. Everything else is run by the community members themselves, and we're going to talk about all the stuff that they have set up as well. But inside the community, that HOA, those fees, if they stay moderate and they stay in line, and you've got a number of people, this community is about built out now. So with about 1,500 doors in here and the people paying their fees, it more than covers the expenses to keep this place beautiful. Within those HOA fees is also the security. There's an enhanced security in a gated community that you don't get outside of here. There is a gate. This one has a electronic gate, a bar that raises up and down, and a gate that swings open. These will have multiple access points in. This is Sandoval's back exit or entrance. And you have to have special things to get in here. I happen to have this pass that gets us in. There's also a barcode that goes on your car. And they have cameras that watch you, so if you happen to screw something up, you will have to...
Welcome to Sandoval.
Oh.
Please insert your
Is
driver's
this...
license or government
Oh,
issued ID.
that's where we have to go. We don't use that box. That's where you put your license in. This one, we just scan to get in. So you need something like this, or you have to stop at that box and put your license in. There's a reader out front that you put your license into, and a security company will come and basically let you in if your name's on the list, or they'll call the resident that you're visiting and get permission to let you in. But your HOA fees are paying for that. On the outside, You don't have that. Now, again, we are a very safe city. It's not a big deal. I've left my garage door open on multiple occasions and not even a screwdriver is missing. I don't do it purposely, but it just goes to show people aren't looking to make your life difficult and unsafe. It's a very safe place to live overall. Now, privacy can be a little more difficult. When you live in a community, I'm going to show you. How private does that look? Those are condos. So you've got neighbors sharing walls, all that kind of stuff. So not overly private, right? Even the single family homes in here, I don't think I could drive my truck between the houses in most cases, but that's just what it is. Outside the community, I again, don't live in this community anymore. I once did, but I am outside the gates now. I live on almost a half an acre, and I have a 6-foot high fence all the way around my backyard. So privacy to me, I have it there, and many homes do. There are people that have triple lots, which would be 1/3 of an acre, and they fence that in with privacy fences. That's something you can't get in a gated community, a privacy fence. Not allowed. You can have a 4-foot high chain link fence just to keep your animals in or to keep other things out, but privacy fence? Nah, not gonna happen. You have to be outside. So if you know you want that, start thinking about a subdivision outside of a gated community. If those are the things you're looking for, let me and my team help you. We specialize in getting you matched up with what's gonna fit your lifestyle ideally. So call, text, or email so we can get started on that right away. Now, amenities. Yeah, I live outside the gates. I don't have amenities, not a single one, nothing. So if you want things like disc golf, that's what that is. That's a goal for disc golf. Right beyond it is a tiki with a barbecue grill, kind of like that one right there. There's multiple stations in this community. They even have a little doggy pickup bag station right over there. And just to the right of that is a fishing pier. That's all what's right here in Calypso Park. Calypso Park is one of the parks that are here. There's also 2 dog parks. There is a clubhouse. There is a fitness center. They've got bocce courts, sand volleyball, basketball, pickleball, tennis. The resort style pool has a water slide. It's got swimming lanes. It's got a soaking area. It's got the kiddie play area. There's so much to do here. And these amenities, they're only beaten by the activities. We have an activities director here, and there's a Sandoval website. If you have any kind of special interest, you can start your own club. There's a wine club, there is a cruise club, there's a golf club. They play cards here, chess clubs, you name it, they've got it. They even did a Mardi Gras party a couple weeks ago right up at the clubhouse. So that's the kind of activity that's in this community. All these amenities and activities, you will not have them outside of the gates. You'll have to do what my mother did. When she moved down here about 10 years ago, she joined the New Residents Club. That allowed her to meet people, because you can't meet people easily outside of these gates. Unless you're somebody that's overly friendly, wants to go hang out front of your house and just talk to all the neighbors as they, I don't know, maybe pass by or out washing their cars or something like that. But most people don't have that access. Here, you've got walking paths. These walking paths around Calypso Park, and then 3 miles through this community is nothing but walking paths like this size. You can ride bikes on it, you can walk, whatever you want to do, walk the dog. In fact, one of the key reasons that Vinny and Lisa, my clients that just bought in here, one of their key reasons to move here was to have these walking paths and to know that they can do it at night behind the safety of the gates. That's all they needed. That fit their lifestyle. That was important to them. So having that amenity right there was the difference of them deciding where they wanted to live. I just mentioned about how it could be difficult to meet people. Well, that sense of community, the people that are generally living in here, you spend a similar amount of money for a home in this community. You generally have a lot of professionals that are in the community. They want that kind of a lifestyle. They want other people like themselves. It'll keep everything meticulous. because it's also going to keep their property values up. If you're like most of us, you want to keep the value in your home so when you go to sell it that you make more money, right? Well, that's one of the key things about being in a community. That lady that runs around on the golf cart and writes up all the infractions that people have on their property, she does it for a reason. It keeps the values of the property. It forces your neighbor who doesn't want to cut his lawn as much as you do or trim his bushes, forces him to do it. So that's going to keep those property values up, but that sense of community, everybody has that common way of thinking. And if you want to live with people that are like-minded, find out what the community's basis is, talk to some of the neighbors, see what they're like, and you may find that it's a place that fits you too. Now, it's said that there could be lower traffic and less noise in a gated community, but I'm not so sure. Yes, traffic is slower, 15 to 20 miles an hour on average, and there's lots of stop signs, lots of crosswalks, and it does slow things down, but at the same time, there's single lane in each direction, and if somebody's looking for an address or not sure where they're going, or they're just old and taking their time. Besides, with a place like this, where you've got one lane in each direction, is we're going 18 in a 30-mile-an-hour zone because of that person. So it doesn't have anything to do with the left lane lingering. It just has to do with people that aren't very aware of their surroundings and don't know any better, apparently. But this is another example of what you can experience when living in a community. It can be problematic. It could definitely delay your day, could be a little frustrating, but that's just what community is. Again, there's not a lot of streets that run through the community. Sandoval in particular has Sandoval Boulevard that goes straight through the middle of it, and there's a bunch of side streets, and they're all cul-de-sacs. So you're not going anywhere if you're not on Sandoval Boulevard. And that is one of the challenges with traffic in a gated community. Now, one thing that people will say that could be a benefit is that when you're in a community, there's uniformity, right? Your color of your home, it's not going to be electric blue or fuchsia or anything like that. But you're also restricted with everything you do. You can't just change the color of your house. You have to get approval. The builders that are in a community, they're established builders, they're set builders. You don't have a choice of who's going to build your home in most cases. There's some communities like REALTY, Cape Royal. You can still buy a lot over there and bring a builder in, but you have a minimum square footage that you have to build when you go in there. A place like Sandoval, they were already set builders here. Ryland Homes was originally here. Taylor Morrison was here. David Weekley Homes, which is the bigger estate homes, is here. Pulte was here. So these builders, they're volume builders for the most part, and they're not custom builders. David Weekley was as close as we got to custom. And with that said, you don't have the choice to just grab a builder. I was out today with Chris and Katie, and we were looking at custom builders. And they have a golf access lot. So we were out at their, checked out their golf access lot, and the builders that we talked to, every one of them could build on that site, and they were going to be happy to do so. But they'd be able to pick so many of the options they wanted on that home, and they could pick the builder they wanted to go with based upon their stylings. In a community, you don't get to choose that. In most cases, those builders are already established, and it is what it is. If it's finished building, it's just another resale. Doesn't matter. If they're still building in there, you're stuck with whatever builder's there. So you may have to completely change the location of your community that you're getting into if you want to work with a different builder. On that other topic we just brought up with Chris and Katie, get golf access. You're not getting golf access if you're in a gated community, in most cases. Cape Harbor is one of our exceptions. Tarpon Point has a couple types of homes to be able to get into a gated community and still have some access. They have a marina down there. Fort Myers has a couple as well. But overall, golf access is not attainable out of a gated system because we just don't have a lot of it. Now, when you go into a community, not only are you kind of restricted by who's building, but the types of construction that are in there. In this community, there's single family, there's condos, and there's what they would call like a garden home or a villa, kind of a freestanding single family home on a smaller lot, more of a barrel style construction too. The home is long and narrow instead of spreading widthwise. But again, you'll have choices of the types of home in a community, but whatever choices are there is it. There's no other. Like this place does not have any townhomes. You can't get a townhome in here if you want to. So if that's something you want, you have to find a new area. And townhomes are only in communities. You can't find them freestanding. Now with gated communities, one thing that's absolutely amazing as I look around, meticulous landscaping. Everything is kept very nicely. Everything's very clean. Everything's picked up and taken care of. But again, that sense of community, everybody wants it this way, so it's an expectation. When you're outside the community, look out. You can see some real interesting stuff when you get outside the gates. And I've seen some real interesting stuff. Many clients have commented to me, hey, what's up with me driving down the street and I'll see like 3 or 4 beautiful homes right in a row, and then all of a sudden there's just this dump of a house. And I go 2 or 3 more, and then there's another dump. You know, we can't control that. And even if you lived in a beautiful neighborhood outside of a community, without those guidelines and restrictions, somebody can move in next month and turn that house into a complete mess. And there's nothing you can do. If you think you'll call code enforcement, you can call them. They might even come out and put a violation on the house, but they can't make them change anything. So you're going to live with that for as long as those people choose to be that way, or until you can convince them to tidy up and fix it up. Exclusive lifestyle in a gated community, what they offer here is truly a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle community. So the whole family resort style pool and all the amenities, it's contributing to your lifestyle. You can still add pools to your home here, but there's no need to. I mean, if you're okay with the public pool, that's a massive resort pool up there, but you're buying the lifestyle. You're buying having the other people like you next to you, and buying the activities, and buying the safety. All this stuff you're buying as a package. The recreational opportunities, they go beyond the amenities. My son, again, lives in here, and he finds lots of things to do in here. His newest thing is riding wheelies down the street. So proud of that boy. Multi-talented. Don't hit the sign. And there's a dog park right over there. You can see the slight line over there to get into the community. I feel a whole lot safer about him doing it in this community, even though he has to dodge signs and stuff at times. But I feel safer about him doing it in here because the traffic is, number one, slower. And number two, they already know to look for kids because it is a family style community. So those safer streets do truly matter. They matter to me, and they matter to everybody that lives in here. Lots of families. I mean, this community is so diverse. We've got single folks in here. We've got retired folks. We've got young families and established families. So the spectrum is very wide here, very broad. So if that's the kind of thing you're looking for, this family style community might be something for you. Okay, so that's a little bit about the good and bad of living in a gated community in Florida. If you have other questions about this or need some assistance, and you can't get it from one of these other videos, then you've got to do what everyone else does. Call, text, or email, because I've got your back when moving to the Gulf Coast.